Welcome to the Men Don't Talk podcast. My name's Reggie. This is a platform for guys to talk and talk about things they just don't talk about. Before I introduce tonight's guest, I would like to give a big shout out to our sponsor. It's called Loved Ones Forever. They're an organisation that repairs damaged photographs that are damaged in fires, floods, etc. And if you like to get involved in that or like to have some of their services, DM us after the podcast. I would also as well would like you to share, subscribe, like. It's really important that we get this kind of feedback. If you've got any questions or any topics you want to be raised in any of the podcasts that we do, please DM us and get in touch so we can actually sort of like get the feedback. Anyway, what I'd like to do, I'd like to introduce you to my guest tonight. His name's George, and George has come along. He's come along to share his story. It's a very inspirational story, this young man, and it just goes to show that sort of like people can change their life around. I would like you to introduce you to George.
Hello, Reg. How you doing?
Not too bad. You'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself, George?
Yeah. I'm George. I'm from lived in sort of southeast London my whole life, Bexley, and life for me is it's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's okay, and it's for like a long time. I lived in a problem. And it's a difficult place to be. Do you know what I mean? I lived in a place where like I created my own problems. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't feel like I was worthy of the answer, to be honest with you. And it's not like that for me today. And you know, to be doing something like this is just it's a fantastic for me. You know, I like new opportunities and I like exploring new things. And this is a nice experience. For me, my childhood was good. Do you know what I mean? I grew up in a working class house. My mum and dad always went out to work and provided for us whatever we needed. I never went without anything. Do you know what I mean? And I think it was kind of that. It was that for me. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I almost want to say as a youngster, I become lazy in a way. Do you know what I mean? It was having too much time and getting what I needed created for me a toxic headspace, I'd say.
So what couldn't you talk about when you was young? Why couldn't you get that out? Why couldn't you get how you felt out?
Yeah.
What was the problem with that?
Do you know what it was, Reg? It was like ever since a young age, I've had a big ego. Do you know what I mean? A big ego, and like I'm a big believer in that things happen the way they should. Do you know what I mean? And I think like all the experiences that I've had leading up to this till today, you know, because it's like every day is a new experience, and all the experiences that I've had until now they've all been very valid. You know, it was like I was so used to being good at everything. I didn't know what it was like to be bad at anything. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know what it was like to need to share that vulnerable side of you, you know?
Could you have anyone to share that with?
Yeah, you know, I could share that with my dad and I could share that with my mum, but what it was like, I didn't want to share that to myself. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I didn't want to sit there and think, oh, maybe you're not all right, or maybe, you know.
So when you come to your parents with problems and you said, look, I've got a problem, what was the answer to that? Was it a kind of like, just let you go, or kind of, listen, I've got a solution, don't worry about it? What was it?
Do you know what, Reg? I think it was a bit of a mixed bag, to be fair. It was like, you know, my mum and dad would give you the solution and they would help you with anything. But it was like, for me, it was along the way, I didn't want to deal with any circumstances that come with my problems, or any circumstances down to the issues that I created for myself or for others. You know, it was like I didn't want to look at my behaviour ever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It was like I could be little and I could do something to my sister and I'd lie about it because I didn't want to take the responsibility for my behaviour.
What age are you and your siblings?
So I'm 24 now. My little sister's 20.
Mm-hmm. So you're the eldest.
I'm the eldest. Yeah.
So there's a lot of onus on the elder boy, isn't there? You know, to perform, and then also as well for that guidance and protection of a younger sibling. You know, like to kind of make sure they're all right. So while you're just being an horrible little git, is that right?
Yeah, something like that. Do you know what it is? It was like, for me, a lot of my behaviour took paramount to everything that was going on in the house. Do you know what I mean? It was...
You was like the golden child.
I was like the golden child.
Yeah.
It was, you know, ever since a young age, I was the focus. Do you know what I mean? And for me, that was perfect because I loved the attention.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be an added pressure on you, though?
Of course it was.
To kind of succeed and to win and to go. Like, because remember, it sounds to me that it's about a process of like you actually always winning.
Yeah.
You know, in order to do that. So was there any time in your life where you didn't win and then next thing you know, you failed?
Yeah.
You know, them failure moments.
Yeah, you know, for me, I think sort of the big failure that I had to begin with was my football. Do you know what I mean? Because when I was a youngster, I played a lot of football. I used to love football, and you know, it resulted in me like I got a contract at Millwall when I was about 13, till I was about 15, and like at the time when I had the contract for Millwall, it was like I was that good that I had Arsenal come and knock on my front door. Do you know what I mean? Just before I was about to sign for Millwall, I literally had Arsenal come and knock on my front door. But it's weird because I've always been like that. I've been loyal to things that like I shouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Like,
what? So you was loyal to Millwall?
I was loyal to Millwall. From then, I got playing with a team, and what it was is such a long process when you start like youth football. Like you have to go. I was on trial for about a year. Do you know what I mean? So I loved it. I loved it. I loved everyone there, and I didn't want to go. Do you know what I mean? I felt part of that team, and I wanted to be part of that team. And, you know, I had a really, really good experience in life playing for Millwall, and it was one of the best things I think I've done. You know, I went on tour to Ireland and I played at, you know, the Amex in Brighton, and I played in Arsenal, and I played Chelsea in Cobham, and I played Southampton. I played everywhere. I played all over the country, and it was really, it was a fantastic experience, you know, and it was like, what that gave me though from playing football is it was like I got it twisted a bit what was going on. Do you know what I mean? It was like I thought I was a professional footballer before I was a professional footballer. Do you know what I mean? I'd go into school and I was captain of a football team, and you know what I mean? I'd play for the year above in school if they needed me, and I was like, you know what I mean? You're going in your kit, and I had days off a week, 2 days off a week, day release, and I didn't have to go to school. You were special. That's what you was. Do you know what I mean? You were special, and like, I loved that. I enjoyed being different, and I enjoyed people looking at me and thinking, "Oh my God, look at him, and he's doing this and he's doing that," and that I thrived on that a little bit. I thrived on being better, I thought, at the time than other people, you know?
Okay, so what went wrong? Was there a time, could you go back now and look at a time and go, that was it?
Yeah.
You know, that was it. That was the time when it kind of, I've got a few of those moments. I know exactly where I knew, like, I at that point, I was like, you know, I know I fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, like.
What it was like, for me, it was a process where I went wrong. It was an attitude. It wasn't a specific time. It wasn't like.
Was that ego?
It was a lot of ego, you know, and it took over, because the thing is, right, with my ego is it was like, I thought I knew best. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to listen to anyone. I thought I knew best, and I thought like that since I was 13. I thought like that since I was a little kid. I thought I knew best, and I thought everyone else was silly. So, you know, in football, it's like when you do it seriously, it They say anything you do as a job, it takes the fun out of it. And what it was for me, it was like once the novelty wore off of the big I am, I had to put in the hard work. And I didn't want to put in the hard work to get there, you know what I mean? I didn't want to study the game. I didn't want to watch a game of football. You know what I mean? I didn't want to look at anyone's movement. I didn't want to look at this. You know what I mean? Pre-season, I had a great pre-season. And then like the year after, I was going through the motions a little bit. You know what I mean? And I was playing catch-up for the season. You know what I mean? Everyone's fit and running around and I'm just sort of going through the motions a bit. And like, that's why I say for me, it was an attitude which defeated me in the football. It was like, I didn't have the hard work in me. And it was that, do you know what? It was a funny time of my life as well, because, you know, when you're around that age, when I got, you know, I actually left Millwall. I didn't actually get sort of released. I just told the coach that I decided that it's not working for me no more, you know, and that I don't think that this is the right thing for me to be doing anymore, because it causes a lot of friction. Do you know what I mean? When your dad's driving you around the country every week and when he's giving up 3 nights, 4 nights of his time midweek, and like what it was with me, Reg, is I was a very inconsistent performer. I could be the best player on the pitch. I could be one of the worst players on the pitch. And there was no in between.
How did you feel when you played bad? Or
I played bad,
did you act out? Did you perform?
Do you know what it was? When I played bad, it was like, it got to a point where like I could see the implications it was having. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I didn't want to put the work in to play better. So when I'm playing bad, there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? The reason is that I'm not putting the work in. And like, my dad's driving me around and like, you know what I mean? He's getting a bit upset because when I'm not putting the work in, he's got the right to be upset. Do you know what I mean? He's saying, come on, son, pull your finger out. You know what I mean? Start doing this, start doing that. And like, it caused a bit of animosity for me, to be honest with you, because what it was, that was a person for me to blame. Do you know what I mean? I could turn around to my dad and say, oh, you've done this, you stuck me in my place. And like, it's not true.
So all these roads, this attitude. So your attitude took you down these roads.
Yeah.
So when your attitude finally hit you, and then you started kind of a few more years on, you know, you ended up kind of where you ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like for your parents? What was that like for people around you?
You know, Reg, like where I ended up, it was very traumatic, I'd say, for people around me. And I'd say it was
I met you about a year ago, yeah?
Yeah, about a year ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, about a year ago it was. Might have even been a bit longer.
Yeah.
Just kept messing about. I suffered of a disease that I would say is me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I think about is myself. The first thing that when I wake up, the first thing I think about is me. What can I do today? You know what I mean? How can I say this to butter this one up? How can I get this that I haven't earned?
You still do this today, or is it different?
Things are slightly changing.
Is it? What is a work in progress?
It's a work in progress, mate.
Yeah.
It's like everything, you know, because for me, it's like my behaviour took a bit of time to evolve. So it's going to take a bit of time to evolve again in the other way, in a positive change.
So you went down the wrong path.
I went down the wrong path, yeah.
And where did that path take you?
You know, that path took me to... it was funny, you know, because for me, going down the wrong path was... It took me to a place where every day I was someone that I didn't want to be. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I always knew that the good version of me was inside me. But for some reason, he didn't ever come out.
And did you stop vocalising what was going on with yourself? Did you stop airing it and vocalising it?
Do you know what, Reg? I did, and I stopped vocalising and airing in it, and I'd sit in my own pain.
Why was that? Is that shame?
It's a lot of shame and guilt, because what it was, Reg, my actions through my acting out and through my behaviour, you know, when I was in a certain place, what it was is I never wanted to hurt anyone else, but I wanted to hurt me because I didn't like the person that I was.
Yeah.
I hated the person that I was, and I tried to punish myself.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? I punished myself in a way where I'd ruin relationships. I'd push away people that I love,
Yeah.
and because I didn't want love.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? I think to myself, how can I be behaving like this and accept your love? But what I never saw is, by pushing away love, I didn't give any love. And for me, that's one of the saddest things, you know, because I'm a very loving and caring person, and like my people, I love and I care for them very, very dearly. You know what I mean? I'm still working on how to show it, and
So where was your jumping off point?
the jumping off point for me, mate, was like about, what did I say, about 8 years ago, 8 months ago. Yeah, that's it, 8 months ago, yeah. It was after my 24th birthday, and what it was like I was kind of at a place where I was really in this cycle, you know. I was in this cycle because what it was, I knew I didn't want to act the way I was acting anymore. Yeah, and I knew I didn't want to act the way I act anymore. But what it was is I didn't know how to stop. I didn't know how to stop my behaviour, and like I had to just call it quits. You know, I had to just put my hand up and just say for the first time in my life, like, I don't know how to sort this out. Do you know what I mean? I need help.
Yeah.
I really need help. You know what I mean? And it was from that day, it was like I stuck my hand up and I said I needed help, and it was like something in me changed. It was something in me deep inside of me changed, and it was like a shift, you know, because that was probably the best thing that I've done for myself in a long time. You know what I mean? Accepted that I don't know everything.
You give love to yourself, didn't you?
Give love to myself.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you give love to yourself. Now, that's a deep thing to say, isn't it?
It is,
you
mate.
know, for two men to sit there and talk about love.
It is.
Yeah, and kind of because we don't really kind of air that, you know, that kind of talking about love.
Yeah.
You know, like love. How do you love? What do you love? And stuff like that. You know, and so today, what place you in today?
Do you know what, mate? Today I'm in. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's for me kind of like, that's all I ever wanted. It was like, if I had an opportunity to look back 8 months ago and say, like, in 8 months' time, like, I promise you, you'll be all right. You know what I mean? You do the right thing, you listen to people, you'll be all right. And like,
what's your greatest gift you've had lately?
You know, the greatest gift I've had lately, without a shadow of a doubt, was my nephew being born.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when my nephew was born, like, that was like an element to me that I never thought would open up. You know what I mean? Because I've never been around a baby being born.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, I believe in sort of divine interventions, you know what I mean? And I believe today that things happen for a reason, and I honestly believe that he was born to show me, like, this is love. You know what I mean? This is love.
So, okay, let's have a look now then. So you've ended up turning your life around.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, your life has changed.
Yeah, trying.
So what is it like living as a 24-year-old man in this world that we've got today? What bugs you? What's the bug?
Very challenging, mate, to be honest with you. Do you know what? The thing that bugs me the most about today, without any doubts, is social media.
So, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Social media is very, very toxic. And like, what it was, yeah, I spent a lot of time on social media, do you know what I mean? And you're flicking and you're scrolling and you're comparing yourself and you're seeing what you got to be better than, and you're seeing who you need to be like, and that's control. You know what I mean? That's control.
I speak to a lot of young men in their 20s, and they all say the same thing. They all say that social media is an issue, because you know, you got one side of people that turn around and go, okay, yeah, social media is fantastic. It's only fantastic if you're getting all the likes and the shares.
Of course it is.
You know, and when we're talking about shares and likes, yeah, you can subscribe, share, and like to this as well if you want to.
Yeah, that's it.
But the thing is, right? But the thing is, it's all about that, isn't it? So, I mean, society today. I mean, what's in the news today? What do you reckon? I know what's in the news today. You know,
In the news today, what's going on in
you
the
don't
news
identify as
today?
a cat, do you?
I don't identify as a cat, mate, luckily. No, it's about one of the only
you,
forms I don't think I will
you
ever
don't.
take on.
No, I mean, so what do you think of all that stuff that's going on at the moment? Because you're growing up in this world. I mean, I've only got 25 summers left. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mad place at the minute,
Yeah.
ain't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's mad and it's worrying, to be honest with you. And
Yeah.
like, I just think to myself sometimes, like, there's not enough platforms out there for people to be real.
Well, because there's a cancel culture that wants to go out there and cancel everything. So you're frightened to say whatever you want to
Yeah,
say, and and it's like that. If you talk too much about kind of, feminism or whatever, no, you're sexist, and
yeah,
you talk about kind of, I don't agree with, like bloody, like there's only like, there's only two genders in my eyes. But the thing is, I come up against with other people that talk about it as if it's an actual thing. And I think myself, fucking hell, not being funny, I don't believe in fucking magic either.
no,
I don't believe in prophet, like all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? And why should I believe in that? Because I know there's two genders. It's just male and female. But the thing is, a lot of people don't. And you're growing up in this world. You're growing up in a world that is kind of is creating all this madness.
of course it
I
is.
can only say it's madness. Absolutely craziness. You know, and you hear so much stuff, and people are frightened to talk about it. They're frightened to talk about it because they don't want to be classed as an ist, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You understand what I mean, though?
Yeah, mate,
Yeah.
it's heavy stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like those subjects that just carry impending doom these days. It's like
Well, it means that you know, then on one side of it, like I heard the other day that someone called me a cis white male, and I said, "What the fuck? What are you calling me cis for?" Yeah, but I'm not. I'm just a male, and my name's Reg.
yeah,
You can call me Reg. Well, what are your pronouns? No, I don't. I've got no pronouns. My name is Reg. Yeah. And this is the society that we are today. We've got to try and guess what people are. You know. You know.
it's
There's a lot of that going about at the moment. There's a few debates going on at the moment, and it's about this child turned around and said she was a horse, and she asked the teacher that the teacher took her outside for a gallop. Yeah.
the teachers took her outside for a gallop.
For a gallop, yeah, right. And you know what? And another kid turned around and said they identify as a cat, and another kid turned around and said I ain't having that. And the teacher wanted to say like maybe you should go to another school. So the thing is, all this stuff that we're
Yeah,
growing up in, yeah. What can't we talk about? I think as a man growing up, like the whole thing about growing up, like. I heard someone on a radio station. I'm not going to promote him, but he called some of the big girls blares, and some woman pulled him up and said, "Whoa, you can't say that." Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I just said it, But the thing is, like, and he said, oh, really? Like, he had to backpedal and apologise. You know what I mean? So this is what society is creating in this world, and it's a hard enough thing in this world. I mean, I'm an addict. I grow up in this world, and it's hard enough to kind of deal with it as it is, let alone with all this stuff. But then again, like as you say, stay off social media, But then we are on YouTube, so your thing is like stay off social media, yeah, and kind of I mean, I have an Instagram account, and it's an art account, and it's it's I'm going to prime RWO504. Yeah, you catch that. You can see it. It's an art page.
That's it. Yeah.
I've done it. I've promoted it. Yeah. And do you know what? And I've not got one picture of myself there.
Yeah.
There might be an art picture of me, but you have to try and guess which one it is. But and I don't sign into that. But as you said, social media is a big thing. Growing up you had social media growing up, didn't you?
Yeah, mate, I got rid of social media about just a couple of months ago now, to be fair. And it's like, do you know what it is? It's only since you get rid of it, you realise how much you don't need it and how much it just wastes time. Do you know what I mean? It's just empty time. It was like, I was reading the other day, like I watched a documentary and it said porn is social media.
Porn.
Porn is social media because what it is, you just flick on porn. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you used to have magazines.
Well, mate, if you got
They
the
still do
magazines,
magazines.
whatever floats your boat.
They still do magazines. You know, they used to have the pages stuck together. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go there, but
Yeah, all the Playboys and that, mate.
they had all the Playboys. They had all that.
I think I've caught my dad out of a couple of them before.
Have you?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, the old schools.
Yeah.
The old schools, yeah.
No, they're called wank mags.
That's it, mate. Yeah.
You know, but the thing is that's another thing as well. Men don't talk about a lot of things really.
Nah.
You know, and you know, it's like that whole thing from father to son and kind of that's thing. I mean, I've got my son working with me at the present moment, and you know, he's only 16, and he's coming to work with me for a few days, and it's like a kind of trying to open your eyes to what's there. You know, guidance. But a lot of guys out here haven't had no guidance at all.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing about you know, having platforms like these, so we can have people on to just talk about what's going on for them.
Yeah, so I think it's an amazing thing.
You know, and as I say, it's you know, it's a big bad world out there.
Of course it is.
And kind of when we're stuck in the middle of it, you know.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and it's like you know, what else doesn't help today for me as well, like a major issue is it's money. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's all these ways to get stuff now without ever earning it. I think that's toxic for youth.
Explain yourself. How are you going to get stuff without money?
You know, it's like I look at all of these things coming out, and it's Klarna, and it's you know what I mean, all these loans, and you get this and you get that, and there's all these accounts where you can take X amount, and you know, I know they've always been there, but what it is today, they're so accessible. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I feel like with this sort of stuff, it's the online gambling. You know what I mean? Like the amount of boys that I know that online gamble and they're really into it and they're spending all their money.
Just another addiction, though, isn't it?
It's another way of addiction, mate. And you know, like I suffer from addiction, so like all this stuff to me has to be kept very at a distance.
Do you know I don't play a game on my phone?
Yeah.
I haven't played a game on my phone in 4.5 years. Yeah, I used to play solitaire. I used to play Sims as well. I used to play all them little games on there. And I remember sitting there waiting for it to ping and like going ding, 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 like that, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it was kind of, you know, it was very, very addictive.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, very addictive. And it was kind of, you know, Moorish. You know, I remember kind of sitting there and like that. I remember playing my game of solitaire. I got 36 seconds on it. I thought myself, wow, my heart was pumping. I was racing, you know, and I've gone over the road and I remember buying a bottle of Smirnoff. It was like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. And I didn't even want to drink. And I bought this bottle of Smirnoff, right? And I was trying to chase this other thing. And I suppose really with gambling, it's the same thing. You're trying to chase and chase and chase.
Of course it is.
But it's just like any form of addiction. You know, the stats on gambling are that more people die from the effects of gambling addiction than any other addiction.
Yeah.
More people kill themselves because they get people after them for money. They can't handle it, you know, and they'd be better off dead. You know, and it reminds me of my own addiction, really, that I'd be better off dead than sort out my problem. At least I'm so grateful. You know, it was like I won the lottery.
Yeah.
I was so grateful that I ended up kind of finding recovery and living a better life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, as well, it was like I actually studied a little bit about like gambling and that when I was at uni, and it was like you'll never put a bet on that you think you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Don't matter what it is, you could be putting a bet on 5,000 to 1.
Yeah.
You never put it on if you think you're gonna lose. There's an element of you that gives you that hope that that's gonna come off. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is what I'm trying to say is with all of this stuff, it's, you know, for youngsters today with the progressive technology and with the progressive, you know, how easy and accessible everything is today, it's dangerous. It's so dangerous because, you know, the amount of people that I know that like, they won't go to work to earn something. They'll just get it. And then they'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, for me, like coming out the other side of, you know, being in a bad place and that, today I understand the effect and the weight that carries on you mentally.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? And, you know, today I'm about being as clean and reset as you can every day, because I'm a huge believer in the importance of that. You know what I mean? Like routine.
Yeah.
Routine is very, very important for me. You know what I mean? When I was sort of a bit younger and that, Jesus, the last thing I wanted was a routine. Do you know what I mean? I was never lazy, but routine was a struggle for me. You know what I mean? Being somewhere at some time every day, boring.
Yeah.
Didn't want to do it. I didn't see the benefit in it. I just thought, do you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm down the gym every morning now at 6 a.m, every day, without fail, because I know that's good for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people can tell me, you know, you can get addicted to gym. And I know you can get addicted to gym, but it's not like that for me.
Am I addicted to getting up at 5 a.m? I can't stop.
Maybe you are, mate. Maybe we need to look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 in the 5 in the morning, I'm like that, ping, right? Don't matter, even if I've got work or not, I think, why are you doing this to me? Yeah, it just, my body just resets at time every morning.
It's like a morning glory, mate.
It is. Oh, well,
You get up at 5 a.m, have a little coffee,
yeah,
a little banana or a yogurt or something.
I don't know.
That's it, mate. It's a morning glory for me these days, you know. And it's like getting up at that time, I think this is amazing. Do you know what I mean? This is amazing. I'm up at this time and I'm grateful. And I look out the window and I think I've got the privilege today of living life.
So it's hard to ask someone their hopes and dreams when they're in a 12 step.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just for today.
Yeah, you know, well, my hopes and dreams.
Yeah. A tag watch. Cheetos top.
No, mate, I got all that.
You got the Cheetos.
Yeah, I got the Cheetos top.
Ah, so I've got one of them.
Tag watch, mate. Hopefully when I get when I become like you, I'll get a tag watch phone in, yeah? When we get famous, hopefully you come and chuck me a tag watch.
A tag watch,
mate.
yeah.
That's it.
You'll have to look at that one.
Do you know what, mate? My dreams and aspirations are like, just to be okay. That's all I ever want in life, is just for my family to be okay and for people that I love to be okay, you know what I mean? And my dreams and aspirations are to be able to help people.
Yeah.
That's my dreams and aspirations. That's all I want. I just want everyone to get on and I want everyone to be okay. And I know from my own experience it ain't like that, but I can help today.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I want to be a person where people can go to and maybe get a bit of help. And if I don't know, I'll help you get that help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, for me, that is what this world's all about. And there's not enough in it.
Stay clean, help others.
Stay clean, help others.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to leave it there with, and I would like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Loved Ones Forever. And if you like this, like it, subscribe, share it. We love your feedback. So send us a message, drop us a line, send us a topic that you want, and we'll pick it up in one of the podcasts, or give me your number and we get you on the show. So I'd like to leave it there. Thank you, George. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me tonight,
Thank you.
Rich.
Cheers.
Thank you.